Hey guys, it's Dominique from DominoFX Group, and welcome to the live. This is one of our first lives that we're going to be doing. We're going to be here every Tuesday talking about business credit and lending, and then on Thursdays we talk about our Rise to Capital program for female founders. So if you are here, then you are an entrepreneur, you are interested in business, you have a business, and you're looking for capital, and you've had challenges with getting capital. So that is the whole reason for starting this channel. I'm Dominique, CEO and founder of DominoFX Group, and we are a lending platform where we help businesses secure funding. I am passionate about helping businesses get the funding that they need to grow and scale. I mean, this is how we are going to create opportunities here for our families, here for ourselves, for our economy, for our neighborhoods. It's through ownership, right? Accessing capital, being able to build something. So we know that historically we've been shut out, or it's been difficult to access financing, right? If you've gone a traditional way, or if you've gone to the bank, it's been difficult. But you guys, one reason why I started this channel is because I want everyone to know that these barriers that were in place and that have historically been put in place, in my opinion, will be there for some time. I mean, they're going to be there for some time, but it doesn't mean that we're completely shut out. There's so many different other avenues to be able to access the funding that we need to grow our business. So you guys, if you're coming to this channel and you're supporting us, if this information that we share is value to you, then please like, subscribe, and let's keep this information going, because I want to talk about all the ways that you guys are going to be able to access capital. Because a lot of businesses, the reality is most businesses fail because they can't get the capital that they need, or they have unexpected situations that come up. You know, you have a situation with payroll. If you're a contractor, we've had some of these come up for some of our clients who are subcontracting projects, and they are dipping into their personal to do things like payroll, right? So that could, because they're waiting for their vendors to make the payment. So that can be a huge barrier, a huge setback. And also, things change in this economy. They're changing constantly, you guys. So we have to be aware and set yourself up for what's going to be the next step. A lot of business owners, that when they come to us, a lot of the challenge that they face is they're coming to us a little bit too late. So if you never want to wait till the last minute, right? Especially now, we're talking about the economy, the changes in the economy. There's so many unknowns that can happen that you really want to make sure that you're always prepared. And so we deal with the unknowns as entrepreneurs all the time. We're constantly running into who God knows what, right? It's like there's always something. So you want to make sure that you're being prepared, because anything can shift and anything can go left, anything can go right. And you want to make sure that, you know, you're not kind of like grasping at straws at the last minute. So couple examples is we've had some clients that have come in and that would have been able to get funded right away, but you know, unfortunately, before they came to us, you know, they were applying at a bunch of places online, or you know, they made a few bad decisions before they were actually ready to come and look at the funding, or they waited too long. So there are a lot of different instances where we can actually help, but if you wait a little bit too long, then it makes it a little bit more challenging, but it doesn't mean it necessarily won't happen. So like I said before, there are barriers. There can be barriers to entry to accessing capital, but we are here to break down these barriers, okay? I've said this before, it is 2024. We literally have the resources and the steps to be able to help you access the funding that you need. I mean, it's a win-win, you guys. So what we do here, right, like I said, what we do here on the Domino Effect is we really go through the steps. We really talk about how you can best prepare and set yourself up in the most successful way so that you can maximize success when you're looking for funding. So all of these things that can happen, right, that can go left, that can go right. You may have like a dip in sales, or you may have a dip in your conversions, or maybe the money that you spent on advertising, that advertising didn't necessarily work out the way that you thought it would, right? So it ends up being a loss. So all of these things can happen. And what if all of these things are happening at the same time, right? That can create a huge, huge issue for a lot of businesses. And that can actually be a lot of reason that leads to some failure. So we want to make sure that we're protecting you from that. And a really good way to protect yourself and set yourself up is by accessing business credit, you guys. The biggest companies in the world use business credit. Most companies in the world are using business credit. Why? Well, because you can do things like you don't have to worry about if you have you can get things like revolving credit, right? So with business credit, when I say you don't have to worry, you're not dipping into things like your personal credit. So when you're a lot of businesses, what I've seen, they have gone to who have not heard about business credit are looking at things like their personal. Okay. Oh, well, I'm going to do this all on my own. They're wearing it like a badge of honor. I got this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this all on my own. I'm going to use my personal credit to fund this, right? This is my investment. And I'm telling you that that is not what you want to do. Because when you're putting things on your personal, if you're doing things like getting business credit cards under your personal and using those for startup costs, we know that that can add up sometimes, right? You're really tapping into your utilization, and that really can hurt you if you want to do something like buying a home, or if you want to get a car, or things that we need for in our personal life. So when we're doing stuff like that, that they're going to look at your utilization percentages. So you want to make sure that you're staying on top of things like that. And business credit allows you this really amazing safety net. So you can get revolving lines of credit that you can use as a backup. It's really, really crucial, you guys. So if things do go crazy or if things do go awry, then you can immediately start using your revolving credit. It's really great. So you can conserve your cash, you can give yourself some wiggle room, you've got a little bit of flexibility there, and then you can kind of see what's going on. You get to see what's happening. And then you can make the changes that you need to make, right? That are going to help you survive, that are going to help your business thrive. So that is, you want to make sure that you're putting the things in place to overcome. And why is this super important? I cannot stress this enough, you guys, especially if you're a female-owned business, if you're a minority-owned business, if you are, a veteran-owned business, if you're located in an underserved neighborhood or community, then that resources are limited they're limited to you, right? Especially if you're located in an underserved community. I don't know if you know this, but a lot of predatory companies, they put laws into effect because there were predatory lenders that were actually going into these communities and just implanting themselves, right? So, excuse me, it just really put a lot of people in a bad position. And one of the biggest things that we want to do here is steer away from predatory lending, because once you fall into that hole, it is so hard to get out of. I don't know if any of you guys have ever had any experience with that, but it can be a big problem. So we need to make sure that we're not just signing things, right? You don't just want to be signing up for something. Remember that not all money is good money, guys. So not all money is good money. I've seen, I've seen deals where, we've had, I'll give you a great one. We had one where this was over $10 million deal, right? Everything was in place. Paperwork done, due diligence done, the credit check good, paperwork good, numbers great. Everything was moving along, and there was a very big name attached to this, and it was going to be really, 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 really awesome, like close. We were super excited for it. But you know what happened? What happened is one of the CFOs, managing partners of this deal, actually did not tell anybody, went and took out an MCA during this process, right? Went and took out an MCA. Didn't mention anything, but the lenders and banks, they do underwriting, guys. Do not ever think that you can hide anything. They're going to do a very thorough due diligence check on you just to double check and make sure everything is in line. Okay, they're lending out money, you guys. So once the very thorough due diligence was passed, we saw this $2 million MCA pop up. Boom, it was out. Okay, and this was going to be over. This was, I think it was 10 million. It was over $20 million funding. Okay, and just because, which could we have finagled something around that if we had known up front. But the fact is, this person hit it and it ended up being a barrier that cut the whole deal off. So please, when you're doing stuff like this, make sure you're being upfront, you're being honest, you're being transparent, and you're not hiding anything. You have to be upfront, you have to be clear, because that is how we're going to be able to best help you. I have years of experience in the alternative lending space. Absolutely love this space because it provides opportunity, and 2024 is all about opportunity. When I came across the alternative lending space years ago, it was, I didn't realize at the time truly how much of a godsend it was. It really just was another opportunity for me to be able to, it was very frustrating at the time having to turn people away with no other options or alternatives of where they could get funding. I was with another alternative finance company when I started, and having to turn people away on top of the experience that I was going through because I had, bad credit. I didn't have any mentorship, any guidance on what I was doing when I first started. It was literally like, learning on my own. And so these types of resources are just so unbelievably crucial because it was just frustrating. And so for me, I got to find a plan. I got to find a way. There's just no way. So I went out, built these relationships over many years through the best in non-bank financing, the best in private capital, the best in CDFI relationships and minority investors, female investors, VC angel. I'm talking debt and equity, really to bring the best resources for you to be able to access the funding that you need. Because you guys, women and minority owned companies are literally bringing in billions, if not trillions of dollars, right? So why can't we access the funding that is there? There's all of this money that is available, but there's a barrier between the funding and who has access to it. Well, I say, forget rid of those barriers. It's time to move on. It's time to push past it. I cannot watch us sitting by the sidelines and just saying, oh, well, these funds aren't available to us, so we have to, create these programs to force our way in. No, we don't got to do that. No, we can create our own barriers, our own resources to access the funding that we need. What we really need to do is be investing into ourselves, investing into other women, investing into other minorities, investing into underserved businesses, really investing into Main Street businesses that are out there, right? And I'm not talking about the huge ones that are already up. Okay, I'm talking about your Main Street businesses, right? And your economy, that when you go outside, your favorite restaurant in your neighborhood, right? That local spot that you be going down to. I'm talking about these businesses that contribute to the economy. We need to be building up businesses in healthcare, in fintech, in agriculture, businesses that are creating jobs for other people, businesses that are teaching skills, right? These are the things that are going to allow us to grow as a society and as an economy. So it's really possible to thrive and leverage yourself during a market decline, you guys. Just because you hear the words market decline doesn't mean that it's all over for you. You're not shut out. What it means is I look at every downside as an opportunity, right? Opportunity to grow. Think about this. When the market declines, what's everybody doing? Everybody's stopping, right? They're putting a pause on what they do. So they're pulling back. They're not investing as much in things like advertising. They might not even be spending as much on software. These are things that you can step in and you can finagle, work out some deals. You can work out some discounts. You can actually thrive during a market decline. Okay, put on your negotiation caps and get out there and let's get started. Okay, because let's talk about like conventional wisdom. Conventional wisdom, right? Because traditional wisdom, traditional thinking, it's when there's a decline, you want to pull back. But we are stepping away from the limitations imposed by the traditional funding system, right? We are here to disrupt the game so we can all access the funding that's out there. So I know that the conventional way of thinking is to pull back, right? I know that, but why, right? Because there's this unpredictable aspect, right? I don't know what's going to happen, so I'm just going to sit over here and kind of wait to see what the next person does. But you don't really want to do that, okay? You don't want to do that. You don't want to lose the opportunity that you get. And you might be saying, well, you know what? Like, why are you talking to me about spending money when I need to be saving money? And a lot of people, and I have these conversations, I meet with hundreds of business owners, daily. I'm sorry, I don't meet with hundreds of business owners daily, but I've met with hundreds and hundreds of business owners, and I've had these conversations many, 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 many times. And I do know that there the hesitancy and the resistance, and it can be hard to kind of see past almost like your immediate situation, even if you're in a pinch, right? But you have to be willing to look beyond and look at the long term, because there's two main reasons why you need to be thinking outside of the box, and why I want to talk to you about how you can leverage, and why you need to be thinking about this thing here we call business credit. So the first reason why you need to think about this is because I said earlier, I think I touched on this a little bit, that it is a safety net. Okay, you need to protect yourself, and when the market changes, you need to protect your cash, because business credit is going to allow you to do that. It literally allows you to offset like 50, even 80% of the business expenses that you have, because you're going to be able to keep a lot of the money, a lot of your cash flow in the bank, and then now you can leverage other people's money. So you can leverage other people's money. You can leverage other, mother credit to actually buy the stuff that you need. The actual buy the stuff like computers and ink and, furniture for your office. You can invest in things like that. And I tell you, ink adds up. And, you can get paper, all of those things. So you need to be able to kind of look at your expenses, and whatever it is that you're buying right now. So what are the business expenses that you have right now? You can even make a list, guys. Get out there and make a list. I've done this, especially when you're just starting. It can be a lot of information, and we give out a lot of information on this channel because we want you to be able to move at your own pace, right? Obviously, if you need more in-depth help, then you just reach out, and of course, we'll connect. We'll go deeper into it. But the information is here so you can do it on your own, so you can be able to move at a self pace if need be. But you want to make sure that you're staying organized. Okay, so make sure. What's wrong with keeping a list? You can even get a business credit binder so you can keep all of the information together. So you want to be able to utilize this business credit, because whatever you're buying right now, more than likely you can offset that with business credit. So you can do something like pay off the credit before the interest accrues, and then you're using this. When you use that strategy, right, you pay it off before that interest accrues, and you, like I said, you're going to keep a lot of your money in the bank. And so what are you going to be able to do right then, right? You can use it for things that, you don't use credit to buy, right? So then you can use your cash for things you don't use credit to buy, like payroll. I told you about the situation earlier with the gentleman who was literally, he was using his savings, he was using his personal, because he was waiting for the vendor to pay. He was waiting for the city to pay the vendor who had subcontracted him. So I've heard that so many times. I don't know if any of you guys are in the contract, or are contractors, or if you're in manufacturing, or if you're in any of those industries where you've experienced that. I mean, what did you do in that situation, right? So you want to make sure that you have a lot of money in the bank to cover, many months of payroll. And then you can do that wisely by setting up your business credit, because you're going to keep your cash in the bank. You're going to use other people's money to pay expenses, and then you're going to pay those cards, and then you're going to pay that revolving credit off before the interest accrues. And now you have the money when you need it. Okay. And so if you don't need the money, then you can just use it to pay off the credit. But if you need access to the cash, then you can continue to leave some of the money on that, in that revolving credit, so that you can use the cash as you need it. Okay. So that kind of safety net, you guys, is going to prepare you for the unexpected. And so many people, blows my mind how many people don't even know that this is even out there. Okay. It is a total game changer. All right, we are literally showing you how to leverage yourself so you can position yourself, put yourself to get maximum success. Okay, coming to you from somebody who underwrites these programs. We have an underwriting team that goes through it. I am sick to death of seeing all these declines that could easily be approvals. So I'm literally giving you all of the secret sauce so that you can get this approval. You can get the maximum funding that you need for your business. So that safety net that we just talked about, that's going to prepare you for when the market slows down, or when you have a few customers, or when there's unknown things happening. Okay, like maybe your marketing that you invested in is not as effective as you thought. All right, so but whatever you're dealing with, whatever that is, or whatever that result of the decline is, business credit is going to help smartly set you up, right? We're going to look at all of the foundation, but it's more importantly going to help you keep money in the bank that, you can use to give you more opportunity. So, and then the second thing, let's go into the second thing, right? The second main reason why you want to leverage business credit during a market decline is because honestly, you just want to take advantage of the opportunity. There is so much opportunity. I told you what happens. People look at the downside and they get scared, but I'm looking at every opportunity, every downside as an opportunity. And you know what? Some of the biggest investors in the world, Richard Kiyosaki, even BlackRock, Warren Buffett, when they buy the most? When there's a decline. So when there's a downturn, that's when people go in and they buy a lot. I don't know if you noticed, but there's a bunch of people buying up these companies buying up multifamily homes. So you guys just got to be aware of what's going on right now. So I want to talk about when I said the conventional wisdom, right? When I touched on that. So when I said that people stop spending money, right? And there's not a lot of opportunity. I want to talk about like what I meant. When I was talking about that people, are not spending as much on things like advertising and how you can reach out and you could try to see if you could get a deal. Perfect example is we had a client who, perfect example on a deal he actually missed on was we had a client who had a juicing company and was looking to get funding because the distributor was going to give them they were having they were going to give them a discount. I don't know if they were having a deal or they were doing like a one-time offer, but they were going to be able to purchase like triple the amount of stock that they usually get, inventory that they usually get for like the price of one. So they were reaching out because they wanted to take advantage of this opportunity because they were going to be able to make so much more profit, right? They purchased this huge amount of inventory for the price of one, and they were going to be able to flip it for a larger amount. But guess what? They came at the very last minute and they weren't able to get the funding that they need. So they missed out on the opportunity to purchase it because there was only a certain amount of time that the distributor was going to allow them to take advantage of the deal. So you guys be on top of it, okay? So with the advertising example, reach out and see if they have any type of deals for you. Sometimes you can get those costs cut in half, right? Because especially when people are pulling back, they want to be able to, they're in business too. So if their clients are pulling back and, we can work out a win-win, it never hurts to ask and just reach out. So, but advertising is just one example, you guys. There's a million. But the bottom line is, when the market declines, that you can always find an opportunity and leverage yourself. There's always going to be a way to step in and kind of find some gold after you've been digging for a bit. But there are other opportunities besides that too. You have businesses that are sick and tired of the market decline, right? They're over it. So they want to get out, they want to exit. Or you have business owners that are just, hey, their time has come and they just want to move on to something else. So they're willing to sell. And if they have a profitable business that's willing to sell during a downtime, you might be able to you get a nice deal off of it. So there's many opportunities for expansion. There's many opportunities for growth for you during a down market that you really want to be prepared to take advantage of. But you can only take advantage of these opportunities if you have cash, right? So if you have access to things like revolving credit lines, if you have access to loans, if you have access to working capital, if you have access to business credit cards, if you have access to cash, then of course you're going to be able to access more opportunities. So with these two things combined, okay, you guys, these two things combined, right? The safety net and the ability to take advantage of opportunities, then that should really help you survive and grow and thrive in this down market. There's so many opportunities. I just hate to see opportunities lost. But I do understand, I do understand the feeling and the sentiment of it may feel like sometimes that, businesses that the banks aren't listening. But here's cold hard fact. Okay, the banks are struggling right now. They're actually not lending. Approval rates have gone down substantially. And if you're not making, if you're, here's one thing, I'll give you an insider tip. Here's a bonus. If you're going to go to a bank and you're going to get business credit, right? They want to see a business bank loan. If you, in order for you to really maximize, you better have good personal credit. And I'm not just talking about your score. I'm talking about your profile, right? Revolving accounts, installment accounts, those type of things. Everything on, on time, minimal inquiries. So they're taking into account that. Do you even have business credit set up? Do you have your foundation set up? Is everything matching on the back end? There's over 125 fundability factors that they look at, you guys. So a lot of businesses don't know this. And it just really irks me that a lot of female-owned businesses, a lot of minority-owned businesses, or even mainstream businesses don't even have the, don't even know about these opportunities. And I got to be upfront with you guys. I want to let you guys know, because we're all about transparency here at the Domino Effect in order to make sure that you can get approved, right? So I need you guys to also be realistic on the fact that if you have a business and you make $2,000 to $3,000 a month and you're seeking out to get $50,000, you're probably not going to get that. Okay. If you're just looking at cash flow financing, but does that mean that you can't work your way up to it? No, of course not. And does it mean that you can't access any type of funding? You guys have to be strategic here. You can either go in and ask for that one lump $50,000 sum, or you can sit down and be like, what am I going to use this $50,000 for? What is this going to be used for? And then come up with a plan if you don't qualify for the $50,000 one lump, sum. Then you might be able to qualify and offset your expenses and get started, at least get started today, and opening up the funding options that are available to you. Because you don't want, I told you, I keep saying this, you don't want to wait till the last minute. I'm telling you, every single day I take a call, every single day I'm on the phone with a client. And I told you I've met with hundreds of clients. I've seen hundreds of applications. We've written many, many, many. And I just want to see you guys win. So I'm telling you all of the things that you can do to prepare yourself. So first of all, what are you going to do? Well, if you want to learn more about building your business credit, well, then there's 2 steps that you got to take. First of all, you're going to go click the links that I put down in the descriptions and grab your free guide. That's going to map out the exact steps for you on how you're going to build business credit, you guys. It's super in-depth and it's a win-win. So go ahead and grab that one. But secondly, you're going to go to my other link down there. There's 2 or 3 in this description, and where you're going to be able to actually schedule time with me and with my funding team so that we can give you a free assessment. You're going to get a free fundability assessment. Okay. We can tell you exactly the funding that you qualify for, what you have to fix, what you can do to have a greater chance of maximizing your approval, your chances of getting approved. And then we're also going to give you the tips and the tactics so that you can build your business credit. And then we're going to talk to you about all of the lending, like the loans and the lines of credit that you may qualify for right now, or the ones that you could probably get in the future. But look, there's no easy way to get money, but during this finance assessment, we can really show you that there is, because you may think that there's no easy way to get money, and easy may not be the right word, but you may think that there's no way for you to get the right money that you need, but there is. And I have dedicated my life to be able to provide these resources. I am so passionate about this. We are literally on a mission to help businesses secure $1 billion in financing, but we cannot do it alone. We want to create an economic impact across the nation. So reach out to us. If you guys are in business, where are you from? I would love to hear from you. Make sure that you're and subscribing to this channel. Make sure that you schedule a time with us right now. And don't forget to grab your free guides in the links below. And subscribe, keep your eye out on this channel. Every Tuesday, we're coming here to talk to you about, more cool ways that you can get money. Follow us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. But check it out. Also, if you're a female founder raising capital, then you want to absolutely join our Rise to Capital program, where we help female founders access investors, network community. We help you prepare your documents, pitch, because I told you we are all about maximizing success for your business, entrepreneurs. We want to create change. So we want to help you get funded. So reach out today and let's go ahead and get you funded. And we will see you in class next week.